What's the other one besides Verizon? There's, what is it? One of the other ones that uses Verizon towers is down. And the hospital used it, so I don't know what that one's called, Pure Adult or something.
Really?
Yeah, but it's Verizon towers.
Chuck said he didn't have cell service. I haven't checked mine.
I don't know if you, are you Verizon or,
I've got both
oh,
and a satellite phone.
does any of them work?
My satellite phone works all the time.
Yeah.
Both of mine are working.
Yeah, I've got no bars.
Yeah, satellite uses
Yeah, I
GPS.
have
You're welcome to use mine, Chuck.
No, it's not that big.
I like those colors that you put on, the brown and green.
It's just.
Say it again?
It's those moments that make you go, what did we do? What did we do 15 years ago?
Right.
Slept, worked, ate, slept. Come on, Angie. Doc, we're ready.
No, you're not.
1 minute.
Okay.
Are we recording yet? We're recording?
Are we actually?
Vicky was supposed to hit it to go.
We're recording?
Is this the new,
We are recording?
is this like live?
Thank you.
I don't know.
Bill? Is this
Okay,
like
good.
live streaming right now?
What's that?
Is it live streaming?
No.
Oh,
We gotta repair the live stream. It's not live streaming yet, so what we're doing is we're taping them, and then we're sending them up to YouTube, and they usually load in a couple hours, and everybody can watch them.
Yeah, yeah.
Till we get our live stream fixed.
okay.
Call the meeting to order. If you rise for the prayer. Father, we just thank you for this wonderful community. We ask you to protect us and protect our neighbors from the weather. We thank you for getting us through the last storm. We ask you to be with us at this meeting. Give us strength, guide us in the way you would have us go. Father, we also thank you for our new government that is come in. We thank you for our country that makes this possible for us, our state that nourishes us, our county, and this city. Please be with us in this meeting. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Bill, you gonna need to?
Yes, please, everybody, face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Bill. First item on the agenda is the approval of the meetings of December the 17th. These minutes and the agenda have been sent and circulated. Is there a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed by similar sign? Hearing none, it passes. Next item is the approval of the agenda or motion to amend the agenda. I do not know of any additions or subtractions. Is there a
I need to
motion?
amend the agenda, Doc.
All right. Move
On
it.
item number 7, E, that says 2024 audit proposal. I want to change that to 2025. Casey will be doing 23 and 24. And this firm will come in 25 and do the 25. So that needs to be changed. If you have any questions, I think Michael's here. He can answer those questions.
Yeah, I have a question. So you're saying that Casey will do, I'm sorry, 24?
Casey will do 23 and
And
24. She will do both 23 and 24, and she's gonna do them for the same price.
They're gonna be done together.
Was there a reason for that though, why we were letting her do 24?
So if I can, let me
Okay, okay.
walk through both of those things. So I strongly advised us to plan to use her for 2023 because of the continuity, how deeply she knows the books at the city. She gave the city a proposal to do both 2023 and 2024 at the same time so that we'd be completely caught up. And the price for doing that for each year would be $19,500, a total of $39,000. I also have recommended and would recommend that the city move the audit to a larger firm after these audits are done, because I think that will be valuable to the city. The price that we've been given for that new audit, new firm, is $45,000 a year. That is really, from my experience, that is about what you would expect to pay for a city like Blue Ridge. So the price we have from Tacey and her firm is significantly lower than what you'd normally pay, and it's because she can do both years at once, and because she's got the experience she does with us.
Can I say that this is the point where we're amending the agenda and
Right.
not debating the issue? So is
I
there-
was, yeah, sorry, I was
is
just
there a
trying to answer
second
the
to
question.
amend the issue, to amend the agenda?
Oh, yeah, I'll second, yeah.
All in favor,
Okay.
say aye.
Aye.
Opposed
you,
by
Doc.
similar sign. Hearing none, the agenda is amended. I do not know of any public hearing that needs to be, that we need to have. Is there any member of the council who has a desire for any public hearing? Hearing none, we come to the consent agenda. Is there a consent agenda?
No.
Having no items on the consent agenda, and we then move to the action items. There are 3 resolutions here that, as I understand it, are in the fashion of housekeeping and boilerplate, and we will ask the city attorney to explain them all at one time, then we'll vote them one at a time.
The first resolution is simply a resolution to borrow, to borrow from GFA. It's a loan that I think we have discussed, and Becky would probably be in the best position to tell you what it's for. But GFA does require a form resolution to be adopted by the council that authorizes the mayor and the clerk to sign the loan documents and attest the loan documents. So unless there's some question about the underlying loan itself and its purpose, again, it's just their standard form when you do a GFA loan. And you may recall that similarly, we talked about the GERMA, the additional coverage for PTSD issues. GERMA has a specific resolution they want us to use in order to approve that. So that's item number 2. I guess it's technically 7B. And then the third resolution is just to amend the current water and sewer rate schedule to increase those rates by 8%, which is also something we talked about as part of the budget process. But if you have any substantive questions, I would defer
Now,
those
does
to
anybody have any
Becky.
questions they'd like to ask Becky about that resolution and its purpose?
Go ahead and explain A and C, Becky, and why we need to do this.
The resolution for the GFA loan is to serve EPD's new lead and copper rule, where the city has to identify all of the pipe and service line in the ground, and also get public notification out, have a tracking system, and be reporting to EPD. The amount is $490,000. The principal forgiveness is $318,500, or around 65% principal forgiveness on that loan. That means the state is providing that money, and the city's portion is $171,500 of that. So that is a huge amount of principal forgiveness on that. And Carter and Sloop, you guys have previously voted to head up the lead and copper, so they are working on that project in conjunction with the city to get compliant with EPD, as per their rule states, October of this year.
So to be clear, we're getting $490,000, but of that, we gotta pay something like a match or something? Like
$171,500, 35%, and the state is providing 65% of that.
But is the state paying that $490, or is that after?
$490's the total.
That's the total, so, and we'll pay $171
Of
out
the
of that.
$490.
Yeah, and so, yeah, okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other council members have any questions? Do they have any specific questions about resolution number, oh, let's just vote the first one first. I'll entertain a motion to approve Resolution A, which is BR 2025-1. Do I hear a motion to approve?
I make a motion, we approve BR 2025-1.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Since we're spending money, it'll be a roll call vote.
Yes.
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 Resolution B, which is BR 2025-2, that's the Gurma housekeeping one. I'll entertain a motion to approve BR 2052-2, if there is a motion.
2025-2.
That's it.
That is something that we have to do, correct, Rob?
That is correct.
Okay, that is for the PTSD for officers,
Yes.
and the state requires it.
Yes.
I make a motion then that we accept BR 2025-2.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, Angie?
Yes.
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 Resolution C is the resolution for the water and sewer rate, which also has been previously discussed. That's BR 2025-03. Does anybody have any specific questions that they'd like to ask Becky about that resolution?
Explain it to us, Becky.
As you know, the city contracted Cruz and Associates, Tony King, to do a third-party rate analysis for us. In the consideration of inflation and the capital projects that are related to aging infrastructure, it was recommended that the city do an 8% increase this year to keep up those projects and to meet the demands of inflation.
So we want to increase our water 8%.
Water and sewer rates will increase by 8%, and there's an example in your packet of what that bill would look like.
When's the last rate increase?
We did a rate increase last year of 3.75%. Before that, I believe it was 3 years. That's kind of where we got behind.
Getting caught up.
And this is the one that we had a spreadsheet on, and we looked at the various different categories, and we've discussed that as a group.
Yes, and that was also, according to Joe, what he included in the budget.
So it's 11.75% in 3 years we've raised water and sewer.
Well, it was 3 years before, then we raised it last year, so that'd be the 4th year. This would be the 5th year, so it'd be 11.75% in 5 years. When we had 1 year of inflation that I believe went over 11%.
How are we in line with other small cities like us, you know, with the water bill, or the water rates?
I don't know. I did not make that comparison. We can do that, but all of them, all the money's being taken up really by aging infrastructure. There are things that have needed attention for a while, and regardless of whether we grow or we don't grow, those lines have to be repaired.
So really, you know, on the citizen side, basically, and I think everyone's known that we have aging infrastructure. Everybody knows that. Most places in America do. But this really is going to help with that cost.
Yes, and if you look at, and you guys have all seen the 5-year capital plan, the plan for next year is not 8%. They plan to back off from that sum. The 5-year capital plan looks more in line with what a lot of cities do on a regular basis, and they implement a yearly increase so that you don't come to these big increases.
So to get our aging infrastructure up to where it needs to be, this is part of it. Just every year we need to have an increase.
We do, yes.
Every
And-
year?
And that keeps it small.
I say, she was saying that, but it might
Yeah.
not be
So-
as much, but.
We're not going to have an 8% increase every year.
No, in the best interest of the public, Jack, if you do a small increase every year,
Yeah.
then you don't look at these big increases. But when you look at somebody with a $50 water bill, 8% is an extra $4.50. 8% sounds big, but if you have a $50 bill, it's $4.50.
I don't have a $50 bill.
Well, if you have water and sewer, so that's water.
I have over
So if you have water
$100
and
bill.
sewer, so if you have a $100 bill, it's $8.
I bathe a lot. I've got over a $100 bill. So it's you're $9 for me.
Yeah.
And you know, that's not a problem in so much as it's $9. But that $9 for a lot of people is lunch. you know, I'm doing okay. Most of us are doing all right, but I really don't like raising, you know, taking away from the people and raising these things. And I'm not saying I'm not gonna vote for this, I'm just saying that I don't like the thoughts of increase every year. When we sat down here at first, we've spent $11 million, I believe it is, on infrastructure, have we not? We voted in and got bids and we've spent $11 million on infrastructure. Where are we with that, Becky?
Well, we're greatly improving the sewer system. So you have pump stations in the sewer system that have been there since the 70s and 80s.
Which is what we're replacing.
That's what we're replacing. We have water pump stations in Mountaintops and Eagles Nest. They've been there since the 80s. And it's like your house or your car or anything else, Jack. You have to put money in it to keep it going.
I realize that, I'm not arguing.
Yeah.
But I want the public to understand,
Yeah.
if we're gonna raise it 8%, I want them to know exactly why we're gonna raise it 8%,
But we
why we
lost
have to do that.
We lost 1 million gallons or 1,500,000 gallons or something of water here a couple weekends ago, according to Denny. And if we don't pass this now, the next set of bills can't go out at the rate. I mean,
I'm not arguing passing it. What I'm simply saying is that, you know, we have people out here that are not doing well. And I really don't like passing things that cost people money if I can help it. But if we need it, we have to have it. I mean, how much water are we losing a month, do you think? Give me off the top of your head, Becky.
So last month it was 9 million gallons.
We lost 9 million gallons.
We sold almost 20 million.
But we lost 9.
million, yes. And if you go to EPD's website, Jack, you can look, that's actually not uncommon. So get on EPD's website and look at that.
I
Yeah.
understand that. And
And-
I'm not arguing, I'm not putting you on the spot, Becky.
Yeah, I
What I'm
know.
saying is, we lost 9 million gallons of water. And I'd like to see some of this go toward finding that and fixing it.
It's in there.
I know it is, I know it is. So my big thing is, if we're gonna raise it 8% and we need to do that, we'll do that, let's do that. My other thing is I don't want 9 million gallons of water a month leaving.
Well,
Because
I don't
even though
either,
it's
but-
just water that's running out in the ground, it's still water we're treating that's costing us money.
That would
So
be
I think
correct.
for the council, what I'm trying to say is, we're gonna have to get control of it. 9 million gallons a month, think about that.
We've been talking about this for about how many, 15, 20 years? The same
Well,
thing?
So when I first started here, the city of Blue Ridge was losing over 50% of their water volume.
I understand
In
that.
water loss. So Angie, while we have made progress, there's still more progress to be made.
I know I'm a little off topic with the 8%.
It's okay.
I get that, but
all right, I'd like-
So basically though, the 8% is high, it seems like. I think, like she was saying, if maybe it's 1% a year until we get our infrastructure where it kinda needs to be, and we still got a long way to go, I do know that. We do
Yes.
have a long way to go.
I just
That's
don't wanna come
correct.
back with
Yeah.
8% next year, and
Yeah.
8% the
Yeah.
year after that, and 8% the year after, then we go 10%.
Yeah.
So
One
if we
thing.
need to vote on, go ahead.
Well, one thing I do want to make sure, though, that, does that, you know, when you get your water bill, you've got water and sewer, so if your water goes up, does that automatically mean sewer goes up too? It does, don't it?
Yeah, so it's a water and sewer rate increase, and
Okay,
yes, if you have
okay.
water and
Yeah,
sewer,
okay.
Okay.
All right.
it'd be on both.
8% of the total of both of us. If my
Yeah.
bill's $45, it's going to be 8%.
Yes.
And that's with both, if it was 45
Yeah.
for both, yeah. Okay, all right.
Does any member of the council have anything that hasn't been said that needs to be said?
Well, that's what we were doing, Doc, we're right in the middle.
I know, I'm wiping it up. All right, wrapped it up.
Move
I'll
on.
entertain a motion to approve.
I make a motion, we approve BR 2025-3.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, roll call. Start with you, Bill.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Okay. All right, now we're into the election administration proposal. We all saw that.
everybody familiar with that? Anybody not familiar with it? That is a firm that I contacted to handle our election this year, so the employees didn't have to do it. They gave us at first, I believe, if I can get Chuck to answer, they gave us 30 or 45 to 50,000, right?
That's right, and it was based on a mistake in terms of they tend to price these things based on the population of the municipality. And so they had our number a little bit too high, so they did reduce it.
So we're at 25 to 30,000 to handle our election. Now, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and Becky can probably answer this one too, but I believe when we had the county do it that one year, it cost us over 30,000, am I correct?
That was my understanding, Jack, yeah.
I believe it was over 30,000. So I think this is a good thing moving forward. And this fella is not just somebody that come in and started the business. He actually worked for the state in elections. And I believe if you haven't seen him or don't know him, you're gonna like him. He's a good guy. But anyway,
Does anybody have any questions? We all have seen the proposal, all had a chance to study it. I'll entertain a motion to accept the election administration proposal of Election Care Solutions, if there is such a motion.
so moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, Bill.
Yes.
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 The next is the amended item about the audit proposal from 2024 to 2025. I think we discussed most of that during the
Yes, sir.
period when we were putting it on the agenda. Does anybody have any questions that they did not get answers or explanations that they did not hear that they need before they feel capable of voting on that proposal?
So basically, she gave us a better price to do both of them. She's gonna do both of them at the same time. My only thing that I really had questioned, and it might not even be relevant, was the 24 budget was a little, just a little bit, does that have anything to do with, though, the audit? I mean, does that really matter? It's a little kind of, some things messed up in it.
The audit, though, is what came in and what went out, more than what you hoped would come in and
Okay,
hoped would come
okay.
in and hoped would go out. Is
So if
that
it
not
doesn't have any
correct?
bearing, I mean, if,
The audit will not touch on the budget at all,
okay,
other than if the council had not approved a budget, that might be an issue that they would make a
Okay.
note of. But otherwise, the relationship of the budget to the actual is not something that's
and so
concerning.
how something was spent, put on the budget and spent, but then spent, that has nothing to do with
No,
that?
they're not gonna,
Okay.
they're not gonna be
Okay.
concerned about that.
Okay.
So,
Are there any other questions?
You good with that? Everybody good with that?
Everybody else is good with her doing both of them, yeah.
All right,
I'll
I'll make that,
entertain a motion.
I so move.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, roll call, Bill.
Yes.
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 Now, I just do want to make clear, though, are we just approving for her to do those 2 years, and we're going ahead and approving Rushton to do it
That's
then
correct.
afterwards?
That's correct.
That's correct.
And Rushton is, you want to tell
The
them about
large
Rushton?
firm.
They're a large firm, they
They're a
do
large
the
firm that-
county,
yep.
they do the county.
That's correct.
Water authority.
Local.
Yeah, okay, okay, yes.
Okay, the motion passes. Water leak detection contract. Where'd you go? Did we talk about this last month too also, or did we talk about it?
We did. It
Okay.
is part of the budget, and it is something that we've been doing yearly for quite a few years, where the third party comes in with their specialized equipment and training, and they do leak detection within the system. It is the same number of weeks and the same cost as we've paid for the last couple of years.
What was that cost, Becky?
I believe, I don't have that in my paperwork, but is it 48,000? 48,000.
And how much does that entail?
6 weeks.
And what does that mean to me as a layperson who knows nothing about water? I'm just a citizen.
They come in with
We're
their
spending
specialized
$48,000.
training and specialized equipment, and they get out in the system and they find leaks.
They just basically ride around and look for leaks for 6 weeks. I'm
No.
not saying it that
No.
easy.
No, it's not visible leaks they're looking for. They're looking for leaks that are going in the ground, and they're using their leak detection equipment. They're putting equipment on the pipe, on the hydrants, on the connections, in the meter boxes, and a lot of it is sounding or audio equipment where they listen for leaks. They put loggers on, and they have computers that listen for noises through the nights, and they correlate with each other, and so they pinpoint leaks that way. So they come in and try to find leaks that are not visible on the ground.
They got a robot that goes down the pipes too, don't they?
But to have that much, how many gallons did you say we lose a year?
9 million, we lose a
9 million?
month.
And to
Wasn't
pay
it a month?
50,000? I mean,
Wasn't it a month? 9
That was
million a month?
last month. Yeah, you asked me about
9
last
million
month.
for a month?
That's what I said, it's a month.
Yeah, well, that, to pay 50,000 for them to help out, I mean, what if we didn't do this? I mean, how much more would it add to that?
Well, it's different every time they come, Angie. Leaks are different every year. They find things, if they didn't, those leaks would be underground until the pipe bursted or somebody was out of water. and then we would go in and make a repair. So you're looking at an increase in what, they call it background leakage. It's leakage that's not visible on the ground, and it's typically in fittings or connections, taps, valves, and so it leaks out and takes the path of least resistance. And when you take an area like mountaintops, you could have a leak on a main up here, it's coming out down here at the bottom of the ravine and nobody's seeing it. So those are the things they go in and try to find. And so when I say we've made progress, we started at over 50% water loss and we're down around 30.
And you think it's them, what they're doing?
I think it's them and the zone meters we've put in so that we have real-time data coming back on certain areas. We can look at on a weekly basis to know that we have a problem, and we can send our guys to look for things. But they're only looking, well, they're looking, but they're only able to find what's coming to the surface.
So maybe it
Danny,
might be.
did you have something you wanted to say?
I have worked with McKim Creed.
Stand up, Danny, we can't see you.
I have worked hand in hand with McKim Creed, and I have watched them do the correlations and stuff like that. And the thing that they do that is so neat with that stuff is they can sit down on a ductile iron line and do a correlation, and they can tell you exactly how many feet down that pipe that leak is. So what that does is it keeps us from having to go out and pothole and dig. It saves on man hours, saves on diesel fuel, wear and tear on vehicles, it saves you money all the way around. So it's actually a very good thing that they do.
Oh, I was gonna vote for it,
So-
I just wanted to let everybody know what it was.
Well, I just want y'all to understand, I have worked hand in hand with them, so I know what they do.
Well, so
How
my
much does
my
a million
my
gallons
thought.
of water cost us?
All right, let's go one at a time. Angie?
Well, I was thinking my thought on that then, because we're losing so much water, would it not be good if it costs 50,000, they come in for 6 weeks, maybe do bi-yearly, like let them come in, 1 quarter and then the double quarter, 2 quarters later, they come in again, because, it's costing a lot of money for this this water loss. Way more than $50,000, I'm sure,
Correct.
you know,
9 million gallons.
yeah.
To answer that question, they typically come in 2-week periods, so they're here 3 times a year.
What
So
she's
may-
saying is,
maybe-
what if we
but I'm
double
just
it?
saying, maybe we double that,
What if we doubled it?
because,
Say
Well, I
one at-
mean,
one at a time, please.
I
Go ahead,
think that would
Leslie.
be a great thing.
yeah, because, for that much loss, if they can help, we're gonna make that 50,000 up,
I think so.
yeah,
All right, now Jack wants to speak.
that
No,
extra.
that's it, I just wondered,
Okay.
what if we doubled it?
And to Bill's question, I would have to look
Bill.
and evaluate our cost to produce and give you that. I haven't looked at that yet. Typically, that's done when we do the state water audit in February, and we get that cost for last year. So that's a true and correct number. So if you want that, I can get that back to you.
Just that million, was it 1 million gallons in Mountain Tops?
Not, yeah,
Or-
the million,
yeah,
no, it was a
1.1
million in that bus we got
1.1
over
or
the
something.
weekend, Angie.
Just that, yeah,
1.5
just a couple
million,
weekends
yes.
ago, probably cost as much as we're gonna pay them.
Yeah.
In water loss.
Okay, one at a time. Any other members of the council have a comment or a question?
I'm good.
Here-
Yeah, I think, maybe we should consider,
Well, we're here.
Well,
Here,
okay.
what we have before us is a contract for $48,000 roughly. And if we want to come back to this and broaden it and take it further, I think we have to have another proposal. So I would entertain a motion to approve this request and then diligently study increasing and what the benefit might be from more weeks.
If we're losing $9 million, 9 million gallons a month, and we want to spend $100,000 to get more done, and it cuts it down 10%, we're money ahead.
We
So I
are.
will make a motion. I want to make a motion that we accept this contract, but we expand it to double of what they're doing now.
And I can negotiate a better rate.
Now
That's correct.
Now we gotta ask the city attorney, can we do that?
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Okay, so now we got the approval of the court. Does anybody have any questions they want to ask? So now what we are voting on, so that the public knows, is roughly $96,000 worth of leak detection in the next 12 months, rather than $48,000 of leak detection. Everybody on the council understands that now?
Yeah, we're gonna approve that, but she said she could possibly get it down.
Yeah,
Well, I
so
understand.
if you say up to
I say up to,
96,000, then
yeah.
hopefully we
I
can
just said
negotiate
up.
a
That's
better
what I
rate.
said.
Okay.
We said up to. Now, that's the motion. Is there a second to that? So the motion, our scribe, the motion is up to double the amount on that contract, which is in the ballpark of $96,000 total. I'm correct. All right. Now, is there a second to that motion, that amended motion?
I'll second it.
Now, roll call. Angie?
Yes.
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 Motion carries. Next is, I think, housekeeping of municipal court judge pay. Who's gonna speak to that? Jack, you've been
We
having your meetings.
We just began to, I just believe we need to up his pay a little bit. I think we added another $100 to his pay per month. And I talked to some of the council about it. So I'd like to do that and we could do it for both, the municipal court judge and the solicitor.
Now, did we discuss that in the meeting that I came to that you were talking about, when we were discussing that?
I believe we did, yes.
All right,
I believe
so
we
now,
did.
when you say you discussed it with members of council, are there other members of the council that have discussed this with you?
I think I've discussed it with Angie and Bill and maybe Christie, I don't know, did I?
I don't think so.
Okay,
Was it
well, I'm
discussed
discussing
in
it
the
with you. I
budget?
want to raise the pay for the court
I
judge.
thought
we-
it
I
was
think we
it is
did-
in the budget.
I think we did talk about it in the
Yeah, I was
workshop.
gonna say,
Yeah,
I
we
think we
did.
talked about it during the budget.
Yeah, we talked about it in the workshop, I believe, so.
And-
So
and
if
I
we
was-
want to do that as two separate things, we can, or one, but I say if we're going to do them, let's
I'm
just do them
happy-
as
I'm
one.
happy to do it as one. It was discussed at the budget. You and I discussed it at that meeting. Now, does any council member have any other questions about that proposal that they would like to pursue? Hearing none, I'll entertain a second to Jack's motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Bill, roll call.
Yes.
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 That concludes the portion of the agenda that is action items requiring action. Discussion agenda items, I don't know of any. Does anybody? Reports? All right, hearing none on reports, I'll make a real short report. I'm sure that the newspaper tomorrow will probably chronicle the meeting of the county and all of the cities that was held last week to discuss House Bill,
HR 581.
which,
HB, excuse me, HB 581.
okay.
I got my B and my R.
There will be another meeting tomorrow and then a third public meeting, and that all those meet the requirements of the act. People are encouraged to come to those public meetings and speak. I would like to say, as the mayor pro tem, the mayor's not here to be able to speak, that I've heard a lot of people who have asked questions about the city. You know, we have jobs posted for this, and so-and-so's not here to do that, and we're using consultants for this and consultants for that. And I would say, a little bit like Deion Sanders did after his first year at Colorado, where they won 3 games in a row and lost a lot of games. He says, we're gonna be better next year. I'm gonna load the lineup, and he did. And I have looked into the police department. I've attended the meeting that Jack holds with the staff. I think that Jack needs a paid vacation with the cities, or maybe I'll give you some air miles and you can fly somewhere. But our staff has done a really, really top-notch job. Our consultants who are here and clearly have a sunset provision in their minds for how long they're gonna be here, have given us good leadership. And our search for people to fill positions, I'll just leave it like that. Clearly, the ones that are out there on the market now are finance and city clerk. That the council is working well together. Jack's doing a bang-up job. The idea of what we're gonna do about the House bill is being debated, and the city council is working on your behalf. So that's the only report I've got. Anybody else have anything they want to report on?
I would like to, we have a special guest in the audience tonight. Brandy Smith is an alderman from Andrews, North Carolina, and I've known Brandy for a long time. And she came over to see Blue Ridge and see how we done things, and she likes Blue Ridge, so. I just wanted to let everybody know we have a special guest in the audience. She's a good person. I've known her for years.
There being no further reports, this is the period where the public has the opportunity to speak on any subject that they like for 3 minutes. Is there anybody that has the overwhelming desire to be heard? Amy, you want to be heard? Chief, you want to be heard? All right, there being no members of the public who would like to be heard, I will entertain a motion for executive session if any member of the council believes that we should have an executive session.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed by similar sign. This meeting is suspended until the executive session is over.
Been a while since I've been suspended.
You've been, meetings have been suspended. Oh, that's the right word too, it's not adjourned, it's suspended, correct?
That's correct.